keep an eye on Blye Hill. And, we had a friendly debate about him in the winter, pre-spring, and I was hesitant to put him up there just because of what they returned. And
yeah, it's fine.
And I think he's really shown some flashes in the last few weeks. He's definitely the biggest corner they have on this team right now at 6'3". He's the son of a former NFL linebacker that played 10 years for the Carolina. Now I'm blanking on his dad's name.
That's okay.
But he was a Carolina Panther, Clemson Tiger, ACC Player of the Year.
Okay.
I'll get his name.
You might as well type that in. Just make it quick. Make it snappy.
You talk while I look here.
Okay, here's the deal. White mentioned a handful of players who stood out.
Leroy Hill.
Thank you, Sean. White, I'm going to do this without my glasses. I can do it. I can show you that I can read a little bit without my glasses. As White discussed the scrimmage, he mentioned a handful of players who stood out. The first name he mentioned, Blye Hill, 6'3", 185-pound corner. Played last season at St. Francis, which is a college.
He's from the DMV.
He's from Baltimore.
DC, Baltimore.
A place that's very special to you because of The Wire.
Yes.
You love that show in Baltimore.
We had some old rivals convent Baltimore. You don't want to get lost in Baltimore.
No. So he said that Tony White said Hill was noticeable in that he had 3 or 4 chances on the perimeter in one-on-one situations to make plays and made them. It's a good sign. It's a great sign because it's a good receiver core. And if Hill's out there making plays against these receivers, it's a good sign.
And if this one works out, you have to really tip your hat to the evaluation of Nebraska, because this is a guy that really didn't have much. I mean, he went in the portal and he played FCS football, and he was a limited guy on film. Didn't have a lot of film. That's why I was hesitant to just jump on Blye Hill right away, because I knew he had 3 years of eligibility still to play football. Yeah. And if he works out and develops, I mean, it's a real testament to this staff. And it wasn't like everybody in the world was on Blye Hill.
Sean, you're not wrong yet either. He hasn't done anything in a game. No. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong.
We have a steak dinner bet on Blye Hill, right? Which, I mean, I buy you about 4 or 5 a year. So
you weren't obnoxious about it. You just said he was a developmental player. And I was like, and it caught me off guard. Like, they brought in, usually you don't go into the portal for developmental guys, although Rule will do that. He'll do that.
Like a Jacob Hood.
Yeah. So he'll do that. Yeah. Rule will do that. Now, but that's a great point. I mean, they are not afraid, and we've heard this from national analysts. We heard this from Steve Wiltfong, that they're not afraid. Nebraska's staff is not afraid to be first on a guy. It's sort of
Malachi Goodman.
Yeah. It's sort of risky to do that. You put yourself out there. And now look at Blye Hill. We can say right now he's challenging for that starting corner spot.
Opposite of Tommy Hill.
Opposite Tommy Hill. You know what I like? Here's what I like, Sean. You know this about me too. I like a defense that has length. So you got Ty Robinson at 6'6" up front. You have Jamari Butler at 6'5" up front. You have Javin Wright at 6'5" on the second tier. You have Tommy Hill 6'1" at a corner. You have Blye Hill 6'3", makes the field, shortens up the field, makes the field look smaller. I mean, I love that.
Sean Singleton.
Oh yeah, 6'4". That length is great. I mean, I love that, and that's what a Big Ten team should look like. That's what a major college team should look like. I give Rule a lot of credit for that, Sean. That is by design. I mean, they're recruiting length.
Well, and previous staffs have done that here too.
Not as much.
For us, they got caught up in body types.
They did, but they recruit those small receivers though.
But like on the lines, they almost, and it didn't work.
It
didn't work out
not as well as you wanted,
because the guys didn't move very well.
Right. Yeah, it's not foolproof. I mean, but man, you look at the best teams, and you're struck like by Michigan's just sheer length.
Oh yeah, and that helps you recover if you get beat. Exactly. A couple extra inches makes a difference.
100%. That's exactly what it is. A lot of it.